Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome in if this is your first time being here. My name is Melissa. This is Empowered Gems Tarot, and in today's reading, we're going to be looking into how you are viewed or perceived at work or in business. So we're really just going to be taking a look at sort of your reputation or how others around you that you interact with in work and business are viewing or perceiving your energy. So really good if you're looking to maybe get some feedback, some spiritual feedback from your peers and your colleagues, or if you're just generally curious to know how others are viewing and perceiving you. Keep in mind, as a disclaimer, that just because somebody views or perceives us a certain way, it doesn't automatically make it true. This is just going to be tapping into what the perception is. And, a lot of times that is going to be based on somebody else's filter that they're viewing you through. So it may not be fully accurate. But if you are curious to see how you may be coming across, this will be a great reading for you. Also, keep in mind, though, it's a general reading here on YouTube, so messages may not apply or resonate with every specific viewer out there. So, as a best practice, if what I'm sharing with you today doesn't feel like it fits your situation, it feels confusing, just doesn't really resonate with you, that's totally normal, totally okay. Just release it, let it go. Understand the message is likely for somebody else out there in the collective. And if you guys wanted to book a personal reading with me, the details to book are in the description box down below. Personal readings can be a better way to get a more specific and accurate read on your own personal energy and situation. Okay, so with all that being said, let's go ahead and select your reading. So if you're drawn to reading number 1, we're working with this kind of pink rosy color. This says Chamuel, Peaceful Relationships. For reading 2, we're working with this green sage color, which says Wisdom. And for reading 3, we're working with this purpley pink mallow color, which says Listen well and fully. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about how you're viewed at work or in business. Go ahead and select the color or card that you feel the most intuitively connected to. Once you've made your choice, you can scroll down to the description box below to locate the timestamp that will skip ahead to your chosen reading. See you there. Hi, Group 1, and welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to Chamuel, Peaceful Relationships, this is going to be your message. So today, we're going to be looking into how you are viewed or perceived at work or in business. As I was mentioning in the intro, just because someone or a group of people perceives you a certain way doesn't always make it the accurate truth of who you are. So just keep that in mind as you're viewing this reading. This may just be how you're coming across at this particular moment in time based off of someone else's perception or filter that they're looking at you through, okay? So in addition to this card, which talks about peaceful relationships, we also have Mars in Pisces, Escape. So we're going to start here. I definitely feel like you guys are known for relationships, and I feel like there is something about, like, literally the card says peaceful relationships. So I feel like a lot of you guys may be really good at working well with others or for building relationships with other people at work. Maybe some of you guys literally work in like a love or romance centric field. But regardless, there's definitely this energy that you bring into your partnerships where I feel like you bring peace to the people that you work with. And I also feel with this Mars and Pisces energy, I think a part of this is that you guys are really maybe like very altruistic and maybe sometimes a little bit self-sacrificing, because Pisces energy, and especially like being in the 12th house, like this is a very idealistic energy. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's like, I feel like you guys would be someone who's always likely to help somebody who's in need, or help somebody who's like less fortunate than you, or, there's like this desire to like serve the greater good, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's kind of the energy you bring to your partnerships. Now, Mars in Pisces I feel like it's a little bit tougher, right? Because Pisces is mutable water, so it's kind of boundless, and Mars is like this really fiery, kind of feisty energy. And like, I think there's a lot of passion that you guys have for helping other people, but I do feel like this energy, it feels at times like a little bit passive aggressive. not saying it's intentional, but it's like, I feel like you guys in your attempt to keep the peace may not always say fully what it is that you're feeling, or may not always express clearly to others what it is that you're feeling. And I actually feel like right now with this Mars in Pisces, literally the key word is escape, right? So I almost wonder if part of that has caused you guys to have to recently pull back your energy from something, or that you've had to like get yourself out of a sticky situation to kind of take some space. What else am I getting from this? Yeah, it's like the other thing that I get is that you guys are really good at navigating tricky situations too. But it does kind of feel like there could be something going on right now for some of you guys where like maybe you've had to pull back to get out of an uncomfortable situation. And maybe like potentially for some of you, that uncomfortable situation has come about due to like a lack of firm boundaries, or maybe you guys were just a little bit too idealistic in your efforts, not seeing it clearly, you know? So let's keep going. Group 1. So how are you viewed or perceived? You guys could also be very spiritual as well. So some of you guys could be like spiritual practitioners or religious. And maybe this is a way that you form bonds, and maybe this is also something that you're very passionate about as well. Let's see. All right, so we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay. We also have the Five of Pentacles and the Hierophant in reverse with the Three of Pentacles. So yeah, there's definitely like this undertone of like positive teamwork and collaboration. So I definitely think like people view you as somebody who wants to like get on the same page, who's really easy to work with, or like a good partner to work with. But I definitely get the sense that like you're juggling a lot with this Two of Pentacles, right? Like it feels like you guys may have a lot on your plate. And people see you as maybe sometimes being a little bit in and out, or like you're having a hard time balancing or managing things. Like you've got too much on your plate. And I feel like with this Two of Pentacles, some people that we're tapping into, whoever it is that you guys asked about, there could be someone out there who kind of views you as being like very like, I don't want to say half-hearted, but it's like you're in, but not fully in. Right? Because you're juggling these competing priorities. And so because you have all these things that you're trying to stay balanced in, you can't really fully dedicate yourself to any one thing. Again, going back to the Mars in Pisces, like I think you guys are very like altruistic and like idealistic, and you really want to help as many people as possible. But I think it kind of causes you to spread yourselves a little bit too thin. And so it could create to some stickier dynamics with Mars and Pisces because you're not fully able to invest fully into any one thing because of what you're balancing. And maybe that's like just the circumstances you're in. It may not necessarily be that this is just your nature, right? It could just be that you're in a situation right now, Group 1, where you have to balance so much. And there's literally not much you can do because it is what it is, right? But this is how people are perceiving you. Like there's ups and downs, it's in and out. You're balancing and juggling a lot. And I kind of feel with this Five of Pentacles in reverse that maybe you guys have recently overcome some sort of hardship that others are perceiving in you. Maybe there's been something that you've walked away from or abandoned, or that you've felt left out in for some reason. The Five of Pentacles in reverse kind of talks about regaining our footing, regaining our self-worth after going through a difficult time that really challenged our worth. Or challenged maybe even our finances and things like that. The Five of Pentacles can talk about when we feel marginalized or like we're not seen. And again, it's in reverse. So I feel like there's an energy of overcoming that people are viewing in you. But with this Hierophant in reverse, like you're definitely someone who goes against the grain. I feel like you're definitely not somebody who's super traditional or hierarchical. I think that people... maybe you guys don't like commitment, or you don't like structure or hierarchy or tradition. Like you're non-traditional in the way that you like to run things or go about things. So let's continue. What else, Spirit, for Group 1? How are they viewed at work or business? We have Cancer. There's more water energy. And we do have the energy of Chiron here at the bottom, which is really beautiful and interesting. Chiron is the energy of the wounded healer. So I feel like some of you guys have like a very healing energy that you bring into your work. And it makes a lot of sense with Pisces, especially in the 12th, right? Like there is definitely something like that you're very passionate about in the work that you do that is meant to promote healing to a collective. But Chiron can also talk about the wounds we carry within ourselves, right? And in the birth chart, when you look at your Chiron, which is an asteroid in the chart, it shows an area in the chart where we have a wound, right? Where we get triggered, something that we are kind of challenged with, you know, in our life as we're put into different situations. But as we learn more about that Chiron and we learn more about that wound, we're able to take that energy and transmute it and become the healer for others. There could be a component of that here. Like for instance, with the Five of Pentacles, maybe some of you guys have been like homeless before, for instance, or down and out before. And now you've gone through that wound, you've gone through that challenge, you're able to do work that helps give back and help others who are dealing with that. More abstractly, right, the Five of Pentacles can talk about self-worth and abandonment issues or wounds, right? So maybe you are learning to transmute that wound into the work that you do for others, you know? So there's a couple things there to that. But I also think there's a connection to you guys kind of having a wound that flares up at work that maybe other people view. And maybe it has to do with something around balancing too much or abandonment or feeling left out or marginalized, or maybe even feeling like you're kind of out of place or non-traditional, like you don't fit into like this unique structure. So general reading, again, there's lots of different ways we could look at that. Take it as it resonates for you, but that's what I see. Cancer energy, really beautiful. This is connected to themes of home, family, and belonging. So those could be areas that you are known for in the work. And it makes sense with Pisces again. It's a very collective sort of healing energy. You guys can also have like a very maternal or paternal energy to you as well. Like maybe people kind of look to you as this warm, nurturing figure, like almost like a parental figure in the workplace at times. Maybe you guys work in an industry or a field that's connected to home or family or belonging. Let's keep going. This is super interesting, group one. We're getting a lot of nuance here in your spread. So what else? We also have visionary. So there's that spiritual kind of psychic energy, but it doesn't have to be that if that doesn't resonate with you. This says capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. And this came in the upright, so we're going to take the light attribute here. So yeah, I think that you guys are kind of like with that Hierophant reverse, like you do not like status quo. You're definitely somebody who is non-traditional, non-structure, hierarchy, whatever. And you kind of have this more progressive vision around like what the future ideal with Pisces could look like. But I do have to say, you guys, I feel like really with that Mars in Pisces, like there is this perception or this tendency that like, how do I say? It's like there's something about the vision where like you're so passionate about it and people know that this is something you're known for. But I do think with the Pisces energy being here, like something about it I think spreads you really thin and it gets you into sticky situations with other people at times. Okay. We do also have the Judge here, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. So you guys may also be known for, though you have this like maternal or paternal kind of like nurturing energy and this idealism that you bring and this compassion, there is also like this undertone of you wanting to be fair and balanced and just and make sure that things are like equitable, maybe even legal for some of you across the board, depending on the line of work that you're in. Well, there's legal stuff that can happen really in any workplace, right? So let's get one more. This is the, what is this called? The Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed to close it out. But yeah, you guys are definitely like really future oriented. You do have really innovative, visionary ideas that you bring, really innovative perspectives that you bring that are kind of outside the box. And then we have the Giraffe Spirit, see the bigger picture. And look at this. This is so Pisces, open to infinite possibility. Yeah, like I think it just speaks to your idealism and your openness. You know, I definitely am not getting somebody that's got a fixed mindset here. Like you guys seem like you're very open-minded. People see that about you. I feel like you're able to be visionary and see so many abundant possibilities in anything that you do and whatever work you do. And the Giraffe Spirit is about looking at the big picture, being able to look at something from a much higher perspective when you make choices and decisions. It doesn't feel like you're somebody who's getting like caught in the weeds necessarily, with the exception of that Two of Pentacles. There's definitely something here about you juggling a lot. Maybe it's like a juggle of home and family stuff that some people are seeing in you right now, and that could be showing up in how you show up at work recently. But these two cards definitely tell me that you're someone who's known for like bigger picture vision, strategy, objectives. I think that's also probably why you're able to see things really fairly here in a balanced way, because you can see something from that bird's eye view, or in this case, the giraffe's view, instead of getting really myopic and in the weeds. So this is really interesting, group one, really beautiful. Comment below. I'm curious to know how this might resonate with you and what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading soon. Bye. Hey group two, welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to the green sage card, which says wisdom, this will be your message. So today we're looking into how you are viewed or perceived in work or in business. And as I mentioned in the intro, just because people perceive you a certain way doesn't necessarily mean it to be true or 100% accurate. It's just going to be their perception based on their interactions with you and the filter through which they're viewing you. So just keep that in mind as you're watching the reading. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump on in. So you guys had Sage, Wisdom, and then you guys, okay. And then you guys also have Sun in Leo in the 5th, Fortune. That's beautiful energy. So, okay, how are you viewed? I definitely feel like you guys, you're definitely like in the spotlight in a certain regard, right? With like Sun and Leo in the 5th. It may not be super overt. Like I don't see this as being like super public necessarily, but I definitely think to the people that you know or interface with the most at work or in business, you shine really brightly to them. Sun and Leo, you guys could be like very creative. Maybe you guys are into things like theater, music, art, just like, or anything that's creative as it pertains to your particular workplace. I think this is what you like, an area that you really, really shine in. And you guys may also be known as somebody who is really lucky or really fortunate. Like you've worked really hard to get to where you are today. Maybe some of you guys also monetize a hobby, like a creative hobby or like a spiritual hobby or interest that you have, you know, so maybe that's what you guys do for work or business is you're doing something that you're genuinely really passionate about that's also really creative. 5th house can also connect to childcare as well. So maybe some of you guys, it's not really about creativity, but more so working with children. But Sage being here, this says wisdom. So there's something about you that is really respected and held with high regard in whatever field or industry or work that you do. Wisdom sort of says to me that people know that you have a lot of experience or that you've been through a lot in your career and that you are able to lend that wisdom to others. Like people probably look to you for guidance a lot. Okay. Or even if they're not coming to you for guidance, they probably like look up to you in a way as a mentor or as an example of what success or what right looks like. So let's keep going, group two. How are you viewed or perceived at work? the sun coming up again. That is beautiful. Okay. Few too many here. Double sun though coming up, which is really cool. We also have the Queen of Swords. Wow. And then we have the Lovers in reverse. And we've got the Ace of Wands at the bottom. So yeah, you guys are definitely a bright spot. You stand out. I think you're somebody who also is known for bringing a lot of clarity, because the Sun and the Queen of Swords together, like this just reads to me somebody who is known for clarity of thought, clarity of communication. The Queen of Swords is definitely somebody who's not shy in her communication. She's really fair, balanced. She'll hear you out, but she'll be clear and direct and have kind of a high standard through how she navigates work, right? And I feel like it doesn't feel cold, right? Like with the Sun and with the Ace of Wands being here, I think there is like a warmth that you bring to it. So you're clear and direct and fair, but it's not like the cold version of the Queen of Swords that can be kind of blunt and harsh in a negative way at times. People know that you're going to be direct, but it's coming from a place of fairness and clarity. I also feel like with the Lovers in reverse that you guys are decisive. Again, with the Queen of Swords and the Lovers reversed, the Lovers reverse can talk about making choices and decisions, right? Head over heart. So I think that you guys are probably really good, at least people perceive you as being really good at making those head over heart decisions, maybe connected to people. Maybe some of you guys are a leader, with the Sun in Leo, the Queen of Swords, you guys could be a leader in your workplace. Maybe you have direct reports. Even if you don't, I think people look to you as a leader and they see you as somebody who's able to lead people through fairness and like a warmth, but also logic. You're not afraid to make a tough decision when it comes down to it. I also think the creativity piece is coming through as well with the Ace of Wands and the Sun. I think that you guys are viewed as being really warm and magnetic, and you are somebody with the Ace of Wands that can bring passion and creative ideas into the workspace. So let's keep going. What else, Spirit, for group 2? How are they viewed at work? Ooh, we have Taurus energy here. Beautiful. And then we have Leo coming up again at the bottom of the deck. So you guys definitely stand out as a leader. You definitely stand out as someone who leads, someone who's creative, someone who's authentic, right? Leo is very much about being authentic to you, regardless of what other people may think. With Taurus coming up here, this is a beautiful energy. So Taurus, it is, maybe there's something connected to beauty or to food, or I'm just thinking of like different industries that could be connected to this. So Taurus could be like beauty, it could be food, it could be like luxury or just like nice things. It's also earthy energy. So there could be something earthy or nature centered that I kind of get that when I'm looking at this card. Could be connected to lots of different industries that you guys could be working in. And it's a general reading, so it's going to apply differently across the board. But I'm really drawn to the keyword that says cultivate here. I feel like you guys, again, you're known, as I was getting with this Sun in Leo in the 5th, like you're known for cultivating something at work, like in business, that you've done it slowly and methodically over a period of time. And you've been through a lot to get to where you are today, which is, it's seemingly like you're in a really, really positive place as other people view you. You guys can also be viewed as kind of slower moving when it comes to making decisions, right? Or slower moving, more methodical, more about taking your time, doing the right thing. So what else, Spirit, for group 2? Okay, let's just get one of these, please, Spirit. We have the femme fatale. This says highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. And this is in the upright, so we're going to take the upright. So I definitely think that you guys, and then we also have the vampire in the upright, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. You guys have really clear boundaries with the vampire upright and the Queen of Swords. I think that you guys can usually tell when somebody's around you to kind of siphon off your energy. I feel like you guys really don't like drama. And I think it speaks to what I was getting before with the Queen of Swords and the Lover's reverse. Like, you're decisive and you're fair and balanced until somebody kind of crosses you, and then you're quick to cut them off, to cut them out of your field. I feel like maybe you guys, for some of you, maybe you work in a field that's connected to like your body or like sex work or something like that, potentially. With the first line there, highlighting the erotic energy of the feminine, that kind of stands out. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case for everybody out there. I think what this just kind of speaks to is that you guys are not, like, you have this wisdom, and it feels like you have, like, you're driven and you're strong and you're motivated. You're not depending on anything other than your intellect or your mind to get you to where you need to be in your career. And I think that even applies to those of you that might resonate with doing sex work, right? Like, yes, maybe there's a component of it where like your physical body is involved, but you're very strategic and you're not dependent on that. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't really know if it's making sense, but that's what I'm getting from it. Okay. I think that you guys just don't like when people are overly dependent on you with the vampire and this femme fatale in the upright, because I feel like you're very independent. All right, one more, last card, group 2. This is so interesting. We have the crow spirit, co-create with spirit. So I think you guys are definitely spiritual. Maybe people view you as being spiritual. There's this energy of like everything that you've built, you've manifested it. You guys understand law of attraction. You understand manifestation, right? You co-created your current success with spirit, with your guides, with source, right? Like, you put out there into the universe what it was you wanted, and it's come back to you tenfold. And maybe like you guys talk about this openly with sage wisdom energy here. Like, maybe this is something you're known for talking about or sharing with people in the line of work that you do, or with your colleagues, clients, whatever. It's like you can speak to these concepts because you've done them before. So like, you understand what it means to say, okay, I want to manifest this much money. Here is what I need to do to show spirit that I want this money. And then I'm going to let, the universe meet me halfway in that manifestation. I also feel like some of you guys may have like a platform or like an audience that follows you. And this is really random, but this crow card is making me think of the other morning. It was super early in the morning, and I was leaving the gym, and there were these crows all just like all over the parking lot. It was like they were having a secret meeting or something. I don't know what they were doing at 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's like, it just kind of is making me, I'm having that vision. Like, you have a lot of people that follow you or that look to you. So that's why I feel like a lot of you guys with the sun, like in this sun in Leo specifically, may have some sort of a platform where people kind of look to you for your guidance and your wisdom that you can offer. So this is super interesting, group 2. Comment below. Let me know a little bit about what you guys do for work and how you feel like this might resonate with you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next reading very soon. Bye. Hello, group 3, and welcome to your reading. If you guys were drawn to this Mallow card, which says listen well and fully, this is going to be your reading. So we're looking into how others view you at work, career, or business matters. And As I mentioned in the intro, just remember that because someone may view us a certain way, it doesn't mean that it's the accurate truth of who we are. It is just their perception based off of their own filters and their own lived experiences with you, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So in addition to Mallow, we have, what is this? Saturn in Virgo in the 6th, and this says isolation. Okay. So, group 3. I feel like people view you as a really, really good listener, because this card literally says listen well and fully. And it almost looks in this card like she's consoling someone who's upset here. So I feel like there's something about you guys being like a really empathetic listener. I think there's still boundaries here with Saturn. Like, I don't think that you're somebody who just like lets people emotionally dump onto you all the time, or maybe there's some sort of a boundary or structure that's built into, like, for instance, if you take clients, right? Maybe there's just, with that Saturn energy, there's boundaries and restrictions over how much you can give to someone. But yeah, I think you're viewed as a really empathetic listener. And I feel like you have a very soft energy about you as well when it comes to the way that you listen, or just like your general aura here. Now, Saturn in Virgo in the 6th, this definitely shows me that people see you as being very disciplined. 6th house talks about your day-to-day, right? So it's kind of like day-to-day routines, day-to-day work. 6th house can also talk about our health. So maybe some of you guys work in the health or medical fields. But Saturn being here would definitely show someone who's disciplined, someone who's structured. You guys probably have high standards. Maybe you guys are quite regimented and you know how to kind of stick to a routine. I feel like with the keyword of isolation being here, it's kind of interesting because it makes me wonder if, because you are so structured, that you almost maybe like restrict yourselves from partnerships or from networking or other types of benefits that other people might take advantage of in your workplace. But I feel like you guys, like, you see it as like a necessary discipline, right? Because it's sort of like, let me put in the work now so I can reap the rewards later, that type of vibe. But regardless, I think people view you as being very structured, regimented, setting high goals and standards for yourselves, and just generally being a good listener. Okay. Let's keep going, group 3. How are you viewed or perceived at work? With isolation too, it's possible maybe some of you guys have recently stepped back from something or set a boundary in the workplace. So that's possible as well. Okay. Okay, so we have an Ace of Wands in reverse. I just heard burnt out. We have the Chariot. I just heard autopilot. 3 of Cups in reverse. And then we also have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like there could be something here for some of you, especially with this isolation energy, where maybe you've been burning out a little bit because of how, like, the standards that you've set, or this is how people are viewing you. Like, maybe you set high standards for yourself and now you're burnt out, or you feel, the Ace of Wands, like, makes me feel like you're turned off of something that you were once really passionate about. It definitely feels like with the Chariot, like, the way I'm looking at the spread, it definitely feels like you guys have kind of dropped off of something recently. And you're continuing to push forward with the Chariot. Like, the Chariot shows me, it kind of echoes what I was getting with this 6th house. Like, people view you as being very driven and motivated and ambitious and goal-oriented. You definitely are somebody who is known for that, like, for being highly successful and in control of the direction that you're in. But, like, with all these reversals, it's making me feel like some of you just, like, maybe recently walked away from something, right? Like, the 10 of Pentacles in reverse can sometimes talk about, like, a job loss or breaking away from some sort of stable institution or structure that you had once built right? This is like legacy work here. So maybe you guys have recently stepped away from like a group or a workplace or something that once brought you a lot of passion, but there's been like some sort of falling out or pulling back or isolating yourself from that for some reason here. 3 of Cups in reverse as well. It's like, it's giving me this energy of you being on the outside of a group now, or the outside of an institution that was once like maybe something that brought you a lot of celebration or friendship, camaraderie, joy, something like that. Okay, let's keep going. Feels sad, group 3. Not gonna lie. Maybe people think you're sad. It's like there's definitely like this perception of you that there's a lot more beneath this really driven exterior, you know. Okay. We have Taurus coming up. And then we also have the energy of the Descendant here. So there's something connected to partnerships, like your one-on-one partnerships that you're known for. And I think, again, this makes sense with this listening energy and this card where we have this woman like consoling this man. I feel like you guys are really known for that. Like you're really known for the Descendant is like how we invite or welcome other people into our world, right? And so I definitely think that you guys are good about like creating that warm, welcoming space where people can come to you and you will listen to them. You will hear them out. But it is interesting because there's some sort of falling out here that I get, or some sort of burnout that I get, or something about you being on the outside of something now that you were once very deeply connected to. Okay. With Taurus coming up here, so I don't want to be like basic, but this is what I'm getting. Okay, group 3. Especially with this, I was kind of getting it. I didn't want to say it, but now it confirms it for me. I think a lot of you guys, especially if you are someone who's more feminine or you identify as a woman, if you work with a lot of men, I feel like you appeal to their gaze. Like I think people are, like male colleagues are very attracted to you. Taurus can be connected to beauty and luxury. So those could be things that you're known for as well. Could be an industry that you guys work into, beauty, fashion, something luxury. But again, with Taurus, this is an energy of slow earth. Like it's an earth energy. So it's going to be more about like building and cultivating something over a long period of time, which kind of, again, it ties into this 10 of Pentacles. Like, I feel like there's something that you guys are known for that you've been building or that you wanted to build that requires patience and hard work over a long period of time. And I think that you guys are seen as having that discipline, but it feels like something about this kind of fell flat, which is sad. What happened, group 3? Let me know. I feel like you're coming into this reading after something has happened. Now, if nothing has happened, the other piece of this that I will tell you is I think that, just to simplify, there could also be a perception here that you guys are more focused on your own individual goals and less focused on group dynamics, right? Or making friends, you know, which kind of goes back to that Saturn energy of discipline and boundaries. Okay. How is pile 3 viewed at work? We have the Queen. It is in the upright. This says radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. So you're seen as a leader, group 3. You're seen as a leader, someone who knows how to take the reins and move forward on something. But you also bring in like that compassionate, listening, partnership energy, but with boundaries. We also do have the wounded child here at the bottom. This says awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. So maybe you guys have been, I don't know, it just feels exhausting. I feel tired tapping into this energy, group 3. I feel like maybe some of you guys have been in a situation recently where maybe you had a falling out with someone or a group or an institution here, and maybe you guys had a conversation with someone and you offered forgiveness. I think that you guys do maybe have some inner child wounds that come up at work at times, and maybe other people project their own childhood wounds onto you as well. I think, again, especially if you're feminine and you're like this authority in the workplace, I could see that pulling some stuff up, especially for men that work with you, but take that as it resonates. That may not be the case for everybody. Maybe some of you guys work with children too. That could be a possibility here, but you guys definitely radiate this feminine authority. So you have like that softer, empathetic, compassionate side with good boundaries. You also know how to be clear and directive and ambitious in going after your goals. Like, people trust that you're in control of things. Okay. Let's get one more. We also have the Sandpiper Spirit. Be playful. That's cute. Aw. Then we have the Nightingale Spirit. Love is all around. That's really beautiful. I think, again, like, there's something about the way that you guys communicate here with these birds. Look, he's wearing a little crown. So cute. I do think that you guys are somebody who is known for like compassionate and loving communication, for sure. Even though the Chariot can be like a very like, I'm in control, I'm driving this, it can feel like not super soft, but I think you guys really balance that out with a softness in the way that you speak and lead others. You have this beautiful playful energy too. One thing I would just be mindful of, group 3, with the 3 of Cups in reverse, sometimes it's going to talk about like workplace gossip. I don't think it's going to be the case for everybody, because we do have Saturn here, which makes me think you guys have set boundaries. But like, just be mindful of who you talk to, because the 3 of Cups in reverse can be like a gossip energy sometimes, or like when we're not being super professional. And just like compared with that playful energy, there could be like some playful banter that gets misconstrued. So just watch for that. Take that as it resonates with you. But I think generally speaking, this kind of balances out some of the seriousness that is here in your spread with Saturn and how driven and organized you are. You're still kind of somebody who has this really playful energy that you bring as well. Like, you know how to have fun at work. Maybe that's the 3 of Cups in reverse for some of you. Like, sometimes that can talk about like overindulging with alcohol and things like that. So take it as it resonates for you. That may not be the case for everybody, but the point is, you still have a playful side that you guys bring into the workplace. So this is what I see for you, group 3. Comment below. Let me know a little bit about what's been going on with you at work. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading soon. Bye.